So hello and welcome to week 4 on It's All in the Balance. So we're going to be working on what we've done in previous sessions. We're going to do some different variations. We're going to do some new things that challenge the balance. So we're kind of working with variations to just kind of keep everything a little bit more interesting. And we're also, in some of the movements, making it a little bit more challenge. So you can upgrade to that, or you can stay where we were before, or you can adapt it to where you're up to using the wall. You can use a chair. You can choose to miss various things out if they're just not kind of working for you. So we're going to start with feet about hip distance apart. And we're going to sweep the arms up. And as we sweep the arms up, we're just going to lift the foot up, one foot up off the floor, and then lift the other foot as we alternate between the two. So there's a kind of gentle arriving. So we're only kind of balancing for a moment. And we are coordinating the raise of the arms with the rise with the foot. And at some point, you're working to get your knee broadly to hip height. So we're getting a little bit more work in the hip flexor, as well as having the knee joint doing a bit of work. And we're trying to find our own rhythm, our own timing. I'm just seeing how things are going. So we can adapt it. Yeah, we don't take the knee up so far. We pause, or we use the wall and just raise the knees if that's kind of where we're at. And leave the arms out of it. Just pause for a moment. Check the time in here. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to do the same movement, but when you're on one leg, you're going to see how it would be to raise the heel off the ground. Yeah. So as you come onto the first side at the top, you just raise the heel. As you go up, raise the heel. So it's kind of at the last moment, the heel rises as you sweep the arms up. So the arms are helping you just kind of fly a little bit higher. And it's only for a moment. So you don't need to take the knee as high. You can take it wherever it feels like it's doable. Sometimes higher is easier, sometimes higher is more difficult. Try my best to slow up a little bit now, so that I can see if the stability's either eased with that or challenged but doable. Some days it's easier, some days it's not. So finishing the one you're on, just pausing for a moment, getting yourself back to the ground. Okay, so we keep leaving the ground a lot, and we're going to continue with that. So we're doing the stalk, but the flying stalk one, which we did from week 1, but we're going to step to one side. So rather than just raising one knee, put it down, raise the other knee. As we raise the knee, we're going to take that knee over to one side, pause, and then same with the other leg to the side. So it doesn't flow quite as well as it does when we're kind of just keeping hip distance apart. So just see how this goes. So we're floating the arms up, we're choosing our first knee, whichever that leg is, we're stepping to the side. And then we repeat, flow the arms up, knee comes over, foot goes over, we step to one side. Arms go up, knee comes up, step to the side. We'll rejoin hands and legs. Floating up, stepping over, and So again, how far we step isn't particularly important. We kind of land where we land, but we're making a wider step. So it challenges everything a little bit more. And it slows us down because as we step to one side, we're having to pause here before we lift. Find the floor with the toes, step back, legs together. So final one on this routine, if you like. Okay, so we've done our standard movement. We've done extending, we've added in heel lifts. So we're already getting quite complex with those balances. So we'll take things a little bit easier and give the back a moment to do something different, to come into a twist. So if you take your feet wide, we've got wider anyway, wider than shoulder distance. We've already got used to stepping the feet wide, so that should feel like an easier place to find, easy place to be. I'm going to use hands like rudders. So I've got this hand and the palm is here facing this way. The back arm is behind me and the palm is facing towards the wall. So it's this kind of rudder-like movement to create the twist. So one hand's kind of, the front hand is somewhere around the chest and the back hand is somewhere around the lower back. Keep the knees or bend the knees slightly here and rotate in one direction. Change the hand movement to sweep the other way. Change the hand movement to sweep the other way, trying to keep the knees bent so it's safer for the back and you've got a little bit more rotation available without forcing anything here. So you don't need to go that far at all. It's more about creating a little bit of rotation for the spine and keeping the movement slow. Keeping the feet reasonably wide, so we've got a different stance, a little bit more openness through the hips, the pelvis, and there's a different relationship obviously between the hips, the knees, and the ankles here. Okay. So next time we're back, we can come back to hip distance apart for the feet. Okay, so another one that's going to require coordination. So some of these are just balance, others are kind of like, what am I doing here? How can I make sense of the movements? So the things we've done, not in this series, I don't think, but we've done them in the past. So we're going to lift one knee up so we can have an internal rotation and an external rotation and then swap sides. We use the arm that's free to give us a little bit of support for balance, but we can also use the wall. So the way I'm suggesting we do this is we do an internal rotation, so the knee comes across the midline. Using the same leg, when we come down, we're swapping hands, but we're doing an external rotation. We come down, we do the second leg, internal rotation, and down, external rotation, and down. First leg, internal rotation, and down. First leg, external rotation, and down. Second leg, internal rotation, and down. The second leg, external rotation, and down. One more. First leg, internal rotation, and down. First leg, external rotation, and down. Second leg, internal rotation, and down. Second leg, external rotation, and down. Okay, so hopefully you feel okay in the center. Just for a moment, take the feet wider than the hips and just do a few circuits one way for the hips with the hands on the pelvis. And the other way. Just literally unwind again, like we were doing earlier. We're just trying to do something different for the spine, twisting earlier. We're getting some rotation all through the hips. Also gives us a moment or two to stabilize again, get closer to the ground. Okay, so we're going to be holding a balance a little bit longer. So generally we've been creating the flow, or we've been just holding things for a moment and then releasing, holding for a moment, then releasing. So we're going to extend the time we hold. And what I'm looking at is holding for 2, holding for 4, and holding for 6. So we're just going to bring one knee up, hands play around a bit, and then hands to the knee. We do 1, 2, swap sides, so we can flow around a bit, and then 1, 2 on the second side. Come back to the first side when you're ready. 1, 2, 3, 4. And the second side. 1, 2, 3, 4. And the first side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I did a lot of movement now. I was determined. Okay, second side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and back down. Okay. So again, I found balance difficult on one side, particularly the last one. So just being interested in kind of like where was I struggling? Do I need to go back and either use a chair in front, which is a bit more awkward, to be honest? It's better to try and use the wall and just have one hand, but you can have the chair if that works on your side. So there's other ways of getting around some of these movements here. Okay, so we're going to do something that we haven't done a little bit differently. So I'm going to show you the first parts of that movement, and then we'll come back and do it together. So I'm going to start at the back of the mat. I'm going to sweep my arms up. I'm going to sweep my arms down as I do. I'm going to let the top body come over the bottom body. I've got my knees bent, I've got my fingertips to the ground. I'm going to kind of pad my hands forward until I can get my knees down, and then broadly in that normal kind of all four setup. I'm not staying. I'm going to pick my knees off the floor. I'm going to bring my hands back towards my feet, keeping my knees bent. When I get there, I'm going to bring my bum down, push up and extend up. Okay, so let's do that together. So feet hip distance apart is good for most of us. If you need them wider, then go for that. Extending the arms up and flowing down and folding forward. Let the head be heavy. And padding the fingers forward until you're in that position where you can bring the knees down. And then bringing the knees off the floor first, padding the hands back, keeping the bum low, heels get down, bum stays low or goes lower, lift the arms up, extend. Okay, so we're going to repeat that, folding forward, fingertips down, top body over bottom body, knees bent, padding the hands forward, it's away, then bring the knees all the way down so you're on all fours, pick the knees up, pad the hands back, heels down, bum down, then push off through the feet, extend the arms up, and just pause there with the arms just coming down to rest. So the second movement in this sort of series of forward bends, we're going to do the same with the extension, we're going to do the same with the forward fold. We're going to do the same, bringing the hands forward, but we're not going to bring the knees down. We're going to take the bum back. We're going to really bend the knees. So this is generally called hare rather than down dog, but it's down dog with the knees bent. Okay, and then from there, we're just going to pad the hands back, Same, heels down, bum down, push through the legs, extend and relax. So that was showing you. So I know some people just kind of go with me. So, but I'm assuming you haven't. So we're going to do this twice. So extending the arms up as we did before and lengthen, forward fold, bending the knees, let the head be heavy, crown of the head down, pad the hands down. So remember this time the knees are not going down, taking your hands fairly close to the front of your mat. You're bending your knees further so your bum goes back and you can feel like you're extending through the whole of the spine. And then from there, you pad your hands back in towards your feet, keeping the knees bent, get the heels down, bum stays down or goes down even further. Push down to extend up. Let the arm come down for a moment. Second time, extending the arms up, folding forward, padding the hands quite a way forward, further than we were before. Knees bend, bum goes back, lengthen through the side body, the spine. From there, padding the hands back towards the feet. Heels come down, bum goes down, weight goes down, push from the feet. Extend the arms up and then let the arms be free by your side. Okay, nice. So we can go down now to all fours. So what we'll do is we'll do that movement to get us down to all fours, the first movement, and then we'll do some movements from there before coming onto our back. Okay, so sweeping the arms up, folding top body over bottom body with knees as bent as you need to. Head heavy, crown of the head down. Pad the hands forward. This time remember you come into all fours. Coming down onto your knees and pausing there. So you can have your toes tucked under or you can have the top of the toes on the ground, which is for most people more relaxing, but it isn't suitable for everybody's feet and ankles. So from here, we're doing a version of threading the needle. And it's a balanced version. So I'm talking to you so you can just get all the sense of you, both hands on the floor, both knees on the floor before we move. So I'm going to bring one hand with the palm facing the chest, and the hand is broadly halfway between the chest and the ground. And I'm taking that under, reaching slightly, and just bringing it back to base. Now, what we're going to be doing, however, is if you feel confident with your balance, you're going to take that one leg, the opposite leg back. So I've got my left hand here, my right leg goes back, and I go under, extending slightly, and I come back. So as I go under, I'm bending the elbow of that front stable arm, but when I come back, I'm extending into it. I bend the elbow to help me rotate, and I press down to bring it straight. So I lengthen a short way, and I come back into centre. I lengthen a short way, and I come back to centre. Let's pause that because that's quite hard work. Shake out the wrists. So I'm standing the other way. Let's get a little bit trapped here. So other side, so finding your position. Palm faces up, palm just below kind of the chest area, halfway between the floor. Just have a reach first, see if that's going to be okay for shoulders. This front stable hand, the elbows bend to get you through. You come back, and then you see whether you can take your opposite leg back, no higher than hip height, and thread the needle through, and back, and through, and straighten the front arm, bend the front arm, straighten, bend the front arm, straighten. One more, bend that front arm to get through, straighten both arms down, both knees down, take a pause, just let your hips go from one side to the other side for a moment, get a bit more space, a little difference for the movement. Okay, so what we're going to move on to for our second balance on all fours, we've just got two to do on all fours, is we're going to extend opposite arm to opposite leg. So last time we did circles, which was demanding. This time we're just going to do a hold, but we're going to hold it for 2, 4, and then 6, as we did with the leg when we were standing. So it's the same thing. So opposite knee extends to arm, and hold for 1, 2. Bring it back. Pause for a moment. Second side, extend. 1, 2. Back to all fours. First side, extend. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pause. Second side. 1, 2, 3, 4. And pause. Third time, first side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Pause in the center. And last time, second side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And come back to center. Just for a moment, just have a few cat-cow movements when we arch and round the back. Just as a transition. So we'll be moving onto our back. So when you're ready, finding a way over. Just to and knees bent and feet on the floor, arms just gently by the side of the body. So we can arrive in this position now. So we'll just let the knees drift side to side. And we're going to do the same movement. We're going to take the feet off the floor. So feet are off the floor, lower backs down. So the heels are quite high. So ankles, heels broadly in line with the knee. I've got my knees still hip distance apart as I float across the pelvis, keeping the lower back broadly down if I can. So it might mean bringing the knees slightly further in for some of us. And then from there, just pause for a moment, just take the feet down. So it can be, you can listen in. So I'm taking my hands together, interlocking them, but I'm going to keep the 4 fingers pointing up towards the sky. So everywhere, every other finger is clasping the hand, but the 2 forefingers have come together. So it's like a spire here. That's a reach up through the arms so the shoulders are off the ground. Again, pick the feet off the ground, knees come closer in so the lower back's down. Keeping the spire pointing up towards the sky, you're rocking side to side. So your rocking will be managed by the shoulders keeping the stability. If that's too strong, then just keep both arms up without the interlock. So shoulders, upper body stays where it is, lower body gets the movement from side to side, rotation in the lower back. Okay, well done. So feet down, relax the arms by your side. Okay, so we're going to cross the ankle over the thigh, opposite thigh. We've done many times to get that external rotation. And then we're again going across the pelvis, rocking. And we've got the ankle flexed or dorsiflexed so that we've got more support for the knee. If we think, oh heck, I brought the foot too close towards my bum, the one on the floor, then just take it further away. If it feels like you can't keep the pelvis parallel as you rock from side to side. If you think, oh, this is too easy, then you can always bring the foot closer to you. You want your lower back broadly down and you want your belly kind of supporting that lower back by coming in. Okay, and then pause gently. You might need the hand to take the knee to release that leg down. And then swap over. So sometimes we're more open in one side than one hip than the other side. So you might need to take the foot closer towards you if that makes it more challenging, or take it further away to give yourself more space. So just see what makes sense. As a starting point, flex the ankle and rock side to side. Across the pelvis, but you're trying to not hitch up the hip where you've got the leg crossed. Yeah, so you're still parallel. If you take your hands, you could put your thumbs more in the inner side of your thighs just to try and keep that parallel. And finally pause, take the knee on hook, and you've got both feet on the floor. And just for a moment, just bring the knees in. You can have your hands underneath your thighs to really hug them in, so you get the lower back off the floor for a moment. Bring the feet back down. Okay, so we're going to do a lying down tree. I know, what an interesting idea is that? Okay, so we're going to take one leg and extend it with the toes pointed towards the sky, so that's an active leg. This other leg, we're going to bring the sole of the foot where the sole of the foot comes and the knee comes out to the side. So I know it's not easy to see. So some people's knees might be a little bit, might be higher, but you're trying to get some openness here through that hip if you can. So some people need it right down on the side of the calf. Some people can have the arch of the foot around the knee. You don't want to push hard into the knee with the heel, for sure. Some people might get a little higher, might get into the thigh like we tried last week. You might have to initially have the hand helping you get into that position. Your hands are then going to go on your pelvis, on the side of your pelvis. So you're not rocking over. Yeah, you're not rocking over to the side. And pushing the foot, sorry, the extended leg into the foot and the foot into the leg like we would if we were standing. So often it's easier to think about the extended leg pushing into the sole of the foot than it is the sole of the foot finding its position. But see what works for you, and we try not to fall over to this external opened bent leg hip. Okay, well done. If you can stay stable, you could, if you've got space, reach the arms up. But don't worry, if you haven't, you could have them in more into the cactus arm position, hands up position, or you can relieve them by the pelvis. Okay, so everybody bring their hands back to the pelvis, then take the hands to the knee that's been the bent knee. You can just bring that up for a second, kick the legs in the air. And we'll do the other side. So we extend one leg, make that active, toes go towards the sky, and we find the position for the other foot, which might be thigh, might be wrapped around the knee. I might have to play around with it, keep get it to the thigh. So I'm going to try to get that, yeah, broadly settled. I'm going to push the leg and the foot towards each other. That'll bring my belly in. I'm going to take my hands to the pelvis to make sure and support myself from rocking over to the bent leg side. I feel I can hold that, which will create core support, then I can take my arms overhead or and out to the side into cactus arms, and then back to the hips. Hands to the knee, get the knee back safely up. Have the legs shaking out, shake out the feet, shake out the ankles. Let's have a little bit of a flapping around sort of thing, shaking out the calves. Okay, and feet down. Okay, so what we're going to do just briefly is we're going to come to sitting. So I'm going to bring my knees up, I'm going to cross my ankles, take them off the floor, and roll to sit up, but you can just come over to your side. You're going to sit cross-legged just for a moment. So we're not going to be here for very long. We're going to extend the arms up initially. So as we extend the arm up, the belly tends to go in. We tend to get a bit more of that wrapping around core support. We tend to get the sitting bones heading down as best they can, but it's not easy for everybody, but we've done some hip opening there. And then from here, what we're going to do is just going to take both hands over to one side, rock a little bit, if that's okay for the ankles. Extend up, take both hands to the other side, rock over a little bit. Extend slightly, and just rock to the side. Extend, rock to the side. Finishing here, so just extend one more time. Hands down, rest on the knees. And we're done. Week 4 completed. So a little bit of balance, a little bit of rocking, a little bit of rhythm, a little bit of pausing, a little bit of challenge. So hopefully we kind of get in there with this. And some days will be better than others as ever, particularly with balance. Thank you for playing. See you next week.